Coach, wrapping up this week at home, what do you want to see from your team this afternoon?
Yeah, just being fully present in the moment. That's what we have to do. It's easy to look at standings. It's easy to think about who we've played or who we're getting ready to play, and I think you just have to really be focused on today and being in the moment.
You guys are 1-1 in this Sun series. How do you control them throughout this game?
I don't know. You don't really control good teams, I think. I think you have to be willing to be in control of yourself so that you're able to withstand the highs and lows and the momentum changes, the lead changes that may happen throughout the course of this game. In terms of the competition, there's some things that we need to do in terms of our transition defense, in terms of good spacing on offense. But I think also emotionally and mentally being on balance so that regardless of what happens, we're able to just kind of move on to the next play and do what needs to be done on that single possession.
Thanks, Coach.
It's been a few months since you played Connecticut the last time. I mean, how much do you take from those last two games considering how different your roster is now and how long it's been?
There are some things to take. I don't think, conceptually they're doing much very different. They had, Clarendon was in at that time. She was helpful for them, and she's been out for a while for Connecticut. So personnel-wise, they're pretty similar. I think, for us, it's more of an adjustment on our part, in terms of how to implement the personnel that wasn't available or didn't play in those games, and how to fit them into what we're trying to do. So, I think you can take some things from it because primarily teams run the same stuff on some level throughout the season, kind of know what they're going to do when they call this play. They kind of know what we're going to do when we call certain plays. And it kind of comes down to the players themselves. And, now our cupboard is a little bit more full.
Coach, how did you convey the message that if you don't win this game, you pretty much don't have a shot at getting the top two playoff bye?
Yeah, I don't think we've had that conversation at all, really. Because again, I think that has nothing to do with the proper closeout today. If you get caught up in thinking about what might happen in the middle of September and it's August the 25th, you're in trouble. So we just have to focus on today, and the most important thing for us in terms of moving forward would be to try and stay healthy. And then to try and find a way to, reach the ceiling with this particular group. And if those two things can happen, then it won't really matter where we play, who we play. We'll have a chance, and that's all we can ask.
Obviously, there's advantages to playing at home for any team, but you guys have been especially good at home. How important has that been, and how and why?
I think just looking back on the season and some of the adversity, the injuries, etc. How many young or new players that we had to rely on throughout the course of the season. Typically, younger players are better at home. They're more comfortable, more confident, and we're able to have, I think, better practice time at home. In particular, when the game is at 7:30 at night, we're able to have shoot around that morning at home, and so I think those things have worked well for us, and we're fortunate that we have such a consistent fan base as well. They turn out for us every game, and that makes a difference. You can't always rely on winning at home in order to accomplish your goals, but it's a great place to start. And when you think about Connecticut, they've only lost one game at home, and they've been about 500 on the road.